Back on the Happy Hour, Kelly Johnson, Grant Liffman, and joining us, as always, every Thursday, our favorite lawyer, Steve Moskowitz.
My pleasure, thank you.
Who's your second favorite lawyer?
You don't have a second.
You
We don't have a second.
It's all me.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I mean, most people don't like lawyers.
Right.
There's
Except
always
for Steve.
exceptions.
There's that.
Steve, he's the exception to the rule.
Yeah,
That's right.
There it is.
Therefore, he's our one and only.
Yeah, I like that much
yeah,
better.
right?
Remember that.
Yeah, I'm going to remember that one. I'm going to use that as the next one.
So Ezekiel Elliott, once again, his legal team in the NFLPA has found a way to get another temporary restraining order so he can play this weekend against the 49ers on Sunday. There's now a hearing for the injunction set to be heard on or before October 30th. My question is, what happens now, and when does this kind of come to a head, or could this possibly play out all season?
Oh, it definitely depends on the court schedule. Now, again, we have to remember, we all abhor domestic violence.
Absolutely.
However, the investigation said that the accuser kept changing her story. She wasn't credible. They didn't believe her. And there's an old thing prosecutors say. They say they can't ask a jury to believe something that they don't believe. With that in mind, we have to remember, too, these guys are targets for civil suits. If the guy is truly innocent, our whole system of justice is based on you're innocent unless proven guilty. And here with the commissioner, you say, aha, you've been accused, therefore you're guilty, 6 games for you, nothing to talk about. That, and the appeals court judge in New York, that's one of the things he was very upset about. He said there was no ability to confront the witness, cross-examine. It's just you've been accused, you're guilty, and the judge was very upset with that, and that's why he did what he did.
So I, of course, agree that if you were guilty of any crime, I absolutely hope he's suspended, and I hope he goes, to jail, really, if you actually did
Of course.
commit, right?
But that's the big thing. If you've been accused, and the investigators, the police, the independent people say they don't believe her.
He wasn't charged.
And the judge said, hey, there's a lot of credibility problems here. And there was no confrontation.
Right.
You don't hang a guy on that.
I completely agree. And there's a follow-up to this. And not to make light of it, but this is important to me. So my friend Jeff Roth and I own a fantasy football team together. And we just traded for Ezekiel Elliott. And I need to know, do you think he's going to be suspended 6 games this year, this season?
No, I do not. I think he's going to walk. And I know a lot of people are comparing Brady, but the difference is there was a lot more evidence. It appeared that maybe there was something wrong with the footballs and the text and all the other people. Here, it looks like the guy is really innocent. What kind of justice can you put? I'm a defense attorney. That's very passionate to me. How can you convict a guy when he didn't do it? Come on.
Right.
I agree. And really, they were saying basically once you suspend a player and he misses games, you can't get that back. So that's one of the things they're fighting.
Irreparable damage. It's not like you can say, okay, we can make it up later with money. You can't. These guys have short careers, and missing 1 game is a big deal. And again, the evidence against him is not believed by the prosecution. Come on.
And it wasn't fair either.
No, grossly unfair.
So if he were to have this overturned, he doesn't have a suspension, he's cleared, can he come back at them for defamation and be like, sue them for putting my name out there as this?
Probably not, because then you get into public figure and there was allegations. So something like that I don't think would happen.
Okay, another case we're watching, obviously, Colin Kaepernick. He files a grievance under the latest CBA against the NFL owners for collusion, basically saying they have prevented him because he has been this kind of leader for social activism with the kneeling of the national anthem. They are now collectively colluding to prevent him from working again in the NFL. How tough is this going to be for him to prove?
Very tough. Remember, he needs evidence, and where is it? Now, if somebody sent an email and said, look, we're going to get even with this guy, we'll all agree nobody will hire him, that's a different story. But the bottom line is, unless there's some smoking gun like that, and there's probably not, he is going to go nowhere with this. And take a look at Barry Bonds. He tried the same thing, and it didn't work. So he's got a real tough uphill fight.
Right, and Jed York, Matt Mayoko tweeted out that Jed York said regarding Colin Kaepernick, I don't believe that there's base to that claim that he's being blackballed. And now that's Jed York, who's one of the biggest supporters of Colin Kaepernick,
and
also coming
let's look at something else. Let's look at the last season he played. Come on. The Niners and the Browns were fighting for who could be worse.
Right.
It's not like back when he was bringing the team to almost Super Bowl. His play last year, in of itself, there's something in law called res ipsa loquitur, which means the thing speaks for itself. Look how horribly he played.
Can you, in the court of law, can you bring up his, stats and how bad, if you didn't play well and say, well, that's the reason, and point to it?
But you could, but again, as an employer, there's no requirement If the most talented lawyer in the world, other than myself, comes into my office and says, hire me, I say, yeah, no. I don't have to hire him. So I'm qualified.
Right.
But I don't have to hire you.
Right.
And because he has filed this now, he pretty much has made himself untouchable, unhireable by any team. And he was also criticized when players this last week met with owners during the owners' meetings in New York for not showing up and being part of that discussion. He really can't do that right now, right? Because he has a case against the owners.
He might want to really consider another line of work.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to hire him.
And that's like me doing something, I don't know, stupid and never being able to, not even stupid, doing something, that was good, that I stood up for people's rights and then never being able to work in TV again. That seems illegal to prevent me from making money.
But again, no one has to hire you.
Yeah.
You are entitled to express your beliefs. But on the other hand, an employer doesn't have to hire. If you walked in the door and no one knows anything about your political beliefs, the employer doesn't have to hire you. Well, if they do know about your political beliefs, they still don't have to hire, and an employer can't be forced to say, look, this guy has political beliefs, therefore you must hire him. No, it doesn't work that way. This is America. This is capitalism. It's not communism.
All right, Steve Moskowitz. Thanks
Always
for bringing
a pleasure.
us down.
Thanks.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, coming up next on the Happy Hour, I catch up with Chris Sims. We're talking about C.J. Beathard, the decision to go to the rookie quarterback down there in Santa Clara. He's preparing now to face the Dallas Cowboys. What does this former NFL quarterback think? We'll discuss next.